I didn't react when she spoke. The room was packed. 37 people. Friends, co-workers, neighbors. Every one of them froze as my wife lifted her glass, lipstick staining the rim, her smile sharp and deliberate. "The best gift," she said. "You leaving my life." Uneasy laughter rippled through the crowd, thin and brittle. Eyes turned toward me, waiting, expecting outrage, shame, collapse. I gave them nothing. I tapped my glass against hers, took a drink, and sat back down. On the outside, I was stone. Inside, I shattered. It hadn't always been like this. Once, she looked at me as if I were the only man alive. We were young, broke, unstoppable. We whispered about the future in hushed tones, afraid a louder voice might break the magic. She said I was her safe place. She was mine. But comfort spoils. Success breeds arrogance. Somewhere along the line, her laughter hardened, losing its softness. She stopped reaching for my hand. Her eyes began drifting past me, as if waiting for someone better to arrive. At first, I blamed myself. Late nights at work. Constant travel. Missed anniversaries. Guilt kept me blind. The truth arrived at 2:11 a.m. Her phone buzzed beside the bed. She slept next to me, her breathing slow, steady. I reached for it. One name lit the screen. Daniel. I opened the thread, and in a single string of messages, my marriage ended. I never confronted her. That would have given her power, the chance to twist, deny, weep. Instead, I watched. Every smile, every lie, every meeting. I faded into the background of my own house, a ghost. She thought she was fooling me. She didn't see that I was mapping her, memorizing every pattern. That birthday toast wasn't cruelty, it was arrogance. She believed she had already won. She believed I was broken. But I wasn't broken. I was planning. The night after her party, while she slept in the guest room, yes, she'd abandoned our bed long ago. I sat in the study, pulling strings. Bank accounts. Joint credit cards. Property titles. She had grown comfortable with her freedom to spend, never realizing I'd been quietly shifting assets for months. The house, our house, was in my name alone. Early in our marriage, she had waved it off, said trust mattered more. I remembered. The next morning, I called my lawyer. Papers were drawn within days. The house went on the market. She never even noticed the mail. Her affair? I documented everything. Photos, texts, call logs. Enough to scorch her reputation to ash. Enough to leave her defenseless in court. She thought she'd humiliated me in front of 37 people. She had no idea what real humiliation looked like. A week later, I executed everything. Before dawn, I packed 2 suitcases with only what mattered and left. By the time she woke, the house was half empty. At noon, her card declined. She tried again. Declined. By evening, every account was frozen. The house sold. Ownership gone. My lawyer had already sealed the deals. That morning, she walked in like a queen. By nightfall, she was a tenant in someone else's home. Then came the silence. She called me 23 times that first day. The second day, calls turned into texts. By the third, she was begging. We can talk. This is childish. You're hurting both of us. I didn't answer. The final strike came a week later. Her company hosted a gala. I knew she'd be there, dressed, smiling, pretending everything was fine. Daniel, the man she thought would rescue her, had a wife. She received a neat little package from me. Photos, proof, the kind of evidence that doesn't just wreck marriages, but poisons reputations. Daniel never showed up at the gala. His wife did. She stormed in with fury in her eyes and letters in her hand, spilling the truth like gasoline. And in that glittering room, surrounded by peers, my wife's affair was dragged into the light. Gasps filled the air. Cameras flashed. The same faces who once laughed at my humiliation now gawked at hers. I wasn't there. I didn't need to be. I already knew. Where was I? In another city, under another name, watching from the quiet safety of distance. I imagined her then, her perfect mask cracking, hands trembling, whispers closing in. No glass to raise, no audience to charm, no husband to stand beside her. Just the crushing weight of her own choices pressing harder than she had ever pressed on me. She thought she had stripped me of dignity, but I had taken everything, her money, her house, her image, her lover. All she had left was herself, and I knew that was the cruelest gift of all. Do I regret it? No. Regret is for those who lash out in anger, who act too quickly. I did neither. I moved with patience, precision. I gave her enough rope to build her kingdom, then tightened it around her neck. This wasn't revenge. Revenge is chaotic, emotional. What I delivered was justice. She raised her glass before 37 witnesses and tried to make my freedom a joke. She thought she ended me that night. But all she did was set me free. And freedom, I learned, tastes far sweeter when it's served in silence. I never went back. Not for her. Not for closure. Some people earn answers. Some don't. She lost that right the moment she turned my devotion into entertainment. Now, when I think of her, it isn't anger. It isn't sadness. It's the quiet satisfaction of knowing the most devastating revenge requires no confrontation, no words, no violence. Only the steady removal of everything they believed was theirs. And the cold certainty that when they look around, searching for the man they once owned, all they'll ever find is absence.